Does anyone remember Sleepwalking? Because I'm asking because I've heard no one ever talk about this, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm in the rabbit hole, that being Annasophia Robb's movies. And just to be clear, this video is not about her. I talked about her well enough already. I don't want to, make another video talking about her or about her again. No. But instead, I want to talk about her character and the other characters in this movie, and actually talk about the movie itself, because it's a good watch. So what is Sleepwalking about then? Well, it's a drama that's about breaking the chain of dysfunction. You follow a family where everyone has problems, whether that be family, money, or a little bit of crime. And it's about them getting their lives back together, but something always gets in the way, and it just prevents them from ever just living a happy life. And it is affecting the child Tara, who is doomed to be like her mother Jolene, who isn't a great person. Her brother James invites her and Tara to stay at his apartment after the police kicks Jolene out of her home. But shortly after, Jolene leaves and James is stuck with Tara. And long story short, the movie focuses on James breaking the chain, giving Tara the opportunity to live a better life. But what makes this movie special is how it's structured. You see, this movie is split into 4 parts, where Act 1 is split into 2 parts. Where the first part of Act 1 shows Jolene's life and her relationship with James and Tara, but around the 15-minute mark, she leaves. And this is interesting because most of the screen time up to this point is on her, where we can see her relationship with James and Tara, and along with them, we're confused on what is actually happening. The rest of Act 1 shows the aftermath of Tara trying to find her mom, but also the movie shows how terrible their lives are. They beat you over the head over how both James and Tara are miserable and how their lives just suck. This leads into Act 2, where the tone changes because James decides to travel to his father's farm that the movie has been teasing about along the way, and both James and Tara have a few wholesome moments together, and these moments are where the movie gets really good because this is the first time that they are happy. Seeing Tara smile for the first time is really wholesome because she can finally just be a kid for once. But the good times don't last for long, as Act 3 is crazy, and that involves them reaching their destination at the farm and meeting up with James's father, Mr. Reedy. And yes, that's his name, Mr. Reedy. And the best way to describe Act 3 is like the entire Cloud City part in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, where the safe place becomes a nightmare, but in a different way, because words can't describe how much of an asshole, and pardon my French, but he's an asshole. Mr. Reedy is such an asshole. He is so hateable and has no redeeming qualities. And the way all this ends, well, I don't know if I can even show this. I mean, maybe I can, but I don't know if I want to, because that's how crazy things get. Now that I've really talked about the story, I now want to get into the 3 main characters, that being Jolene, James, and Tara. I want to talk about Jolene first, because she is a main character. Even though she only has like 10 minutes of screen time, she does leave quite an impact. She is characterized as a bad mom who is trying to do good, but things keep getting in their way, like child services or her own interests, like doing it, if you know what I mean, wink wink. But she does leave Tara and James, but she does leave them money and a letter saying that she will return, and at the end of the story, or around the end of the story, she does return surprisingly. Her strong suit is how she does care about James and Tara. She does everything to try and help them, helping James after he got released from jail, and getting Tara to school, but her own selfish desires get in the way, making things worse. Which is why she leaves to make things better in her own mind, and even though we don't see what exactly happens to her, I guess she changes for the better. The movie isn't really clear on that, but it's actually more what James does. Next we have James, and he's my favorite character in this movie because the way that he's characterized, that he is the sidekick. His entire life he's just been the sidekick. His backstory is that growing up he lived in an abusive house, and when he and Jolene became teenagers they ran away, and Jolene basically took care of him and became a mother to him. James eventually go to prison for selling drugs, and the movie starts with Jolene planning her next steps. Once Jolene leaves James, he needs to become an adult to take care of Tara, and throughout the movie you see him realizing what having freedom is like. He makes his own choices now. He chooses to go to his father's farm, he chooses what motels to sleep in, and he chooses what quick jobs to do to get some quick money. This leads to Mr. Reeves and James's greatest challenge, standing up to his father. Mr. Reeves is doing terrible things to Tara, and treating both of them like crap. and you are waiting for James to do something, and he does, and it's so satisfying seeing him take charge in his own way, for better or worse. Taking care of Tara in the long run has changed James for the better. Speaking of Tara, she is my second favorite character in this movie, and not because of Annasophia Robb betraying her, well, a little bit. At first, she is categorized as the moody kid who is depressed because of the living situation she's in, and once Jolene leaves, Tara is focused on finding her mom. But in Act 2 is where Tara shines because we get to see her be a diva. Up to this point, she is miserable and scared of what would happen to her with child services, but traveling with James gives her freedom to be a kid and to have fun. Throughout the film, we see how Tara is going to end up like Jolene. Tara does things that Jolene does, acts in similar ways, and even dresses like her. The big thing that symbolizes Tara's growth and showing that she won't be like her mom is their shoes. Jolene wears white high-heel boots, and Tara wears white roller skating shoes. After spending time with James and being free from her problems, Tara gets rid of her roller skates and wears her own shoes, becoming her own person. And that is her growth. When Act 3 comes around, Tara is more of a standing for a younger James, reinforcing the message to break the chain, and let Tara be her own person. Tara doesn't really have anything to do in this other than react to what is happening around her, but she's still interesting to watch. With all that being said, Sleepwalking is a good movie, but also a forgettable one. I understand why no one really talks about this movie or even really remembers it, because it's a good movie, but it's basic, it's plain, where, it doesn't also help that, just the way that it's directed, the way the cinematography is, it's normal. But that's okay. Movies can be normal sometimes, and, Sleepwalking is just a really good drama, and that's all it needs to be. The reason why I made this video is because I want people to go and check out this movie. I purposely did not spoil certain things because I don't want to ruin the experience for you, because just like me, you probably have never heard about this movie before if you're my age. I mean, if you're a little bit older, maybe you remember seeing trailers or promotion back in 2008, but if you're my age, you probably have no idea what this movie is, but, as an adult watching this, it's a really good watch. And with that, I'm going to end things here. If you guys enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe, because I'm going now, so goodbye everyone.